We're here with William Dalrymple, host of Empire Podcast and British historian. William, can you tell me why you're here today?
Well, I've supported the Palestine cause all my life, but this week is obviously particularly important. At 1 week, we have the 77th anniversary of the Nakba, when 750,000 Palestinians were expelled from their homes. That same week, Labour ministers are appearing at an Israeli government party in the British Museum to celebrate that mass eviction, at a time when the Israeli government Netanyahu has made it completely clear that his policy is now to expel every last Palestinian from Gaza, to starve them into submission. Smotrich reinforced that this week on Israeli television. There is no excuse for our government not to know that now the open policy of the Israeli government is to remove every last Palestinian from Gaza, according to the Trump plan to build a Riviera. So now seems a moment with mass starvation, with bombs that have killed, I think, 250 people in the last 3 or 4 days, when you have to make your voice heard. You have to stand up and say this is clearly immoral. There's no way you can claim that starvation is a targeted tactic, that it's attacking Hamas and not women and children. Clearly it's the bluntest instrument there is. It's like a medieval siege. And there's never been a point where the immorality of Israeli behaviour towards Palestinians is more clear. So I'm very proud to be here today. I'm very proud to be asked to speak.
Thank you. And we've got a lot of figures at the moment getting a lot of sticks, such as Gary Lineker speaking out for the Palestinian cause. Is that not something that you're worried about?
I think everyone who supports the Palestinian cause realises that you're walking a tightrope, and that it's still, despite the work of Amnesty International, the work of Human Rights Watch, the International Court of Human Justice, by all these people saying very clearly that a genocide is going on, astonishingly, you can still be attacked for resisting a genocide, for saying that women and children should not be starved, that there are other ways to wage war if you have to wage war, and that peace is hugely important, that we need to find a way for Israelis and Palestinians to coexist together. It was done in Northern Ireland. Irreconcilable enemies can come together and make peace. And this is the moment to do that, because there will be no Palestinian population left in Gaza if we sit on our haunches, stay at home, and allowed Starmer to complain every time civilians are killed in Ukraine, but remain completely silent when much larger numbers of civilians are killed in the Gaza Strip and now in the West Bank too.
So it's been revealed that UK arms sales to Israel have gone up massively under the Labour government, despite them originally showing solidarity with Palestine. What's your message today for the UK government and beyond that?
If I was Labour, I would be very worried now. Their dwindling support has been made very clear in the latest round of elections. By trying to ape the right with their immigration policy, they're clearly alienating their core supporters. And the huge numbers of people, ordinary people, who feel incredibly strongly that women and children must not be starved, that a medieval siege is not something that we should be seeing in the 21st century, that the mass eviction, not only from Gaza but the West Bank, which is going on every single day, is something that is clearly immoral and Britain should not be supporting. I'm a historian, and the British, of all nations, have a particular responsibility to the Palestinians, because at the declaration of the Balfour Declaration, we declared that a Jewish homeland would be created and that there would be no effect on the indigenous population. We sat on our hands when 750,000 Palestinians were evicted in 1948. We're still sitting on our hands 77 years later when a further 2.1 million Palestinians stand to be evicted from Gaza. Just to give you an idea of the scale of that planned eviction that Smotrich and Netanyahu have been very clear about. One of the great post-war horrors, war crimes, was the eviction of the Crimean Tatars. Now, people still talk about this ethnic cleansing 70 years later. That was only 200,000 people. This is 2.1 million. That is 10 times the size of one of the most notorious mass evictions and ethnic cleansing in history. We cannot allow this to happen. We can't, even more insupportably, allow our government to support it. At the British Museum, on Wednesday, the Minister for Defence Procurement stood proudly on a stage and talked about the RAF giving intelligence to the IDF. This is at a time when not only should we not be giving intelligence, we should be banning arms sales, we should be sanctioning Israel until Netanyahu backs down from these genocidal plans. They are clearly genocidal. How can you possibly justify starving 2.1 million women and children? It's just insupportable. So I think, the British public feel very strongly about this, and this is something which will sink this government if it doesn't change its policy in reaction to the widespread horror of the people of Britain about what is happening in the streets of Gaza.